Your insecurities don't need to hold you back in life. In this video, I'm going to show you why insecurities are actually helpful, how to push through them, and how to make them less painful. Welcome to Manifest Best. I'm a mindset coach and I teach people how to manifest happiness. When you master your mind, you can master your reality. Today, we are going to take the charge out of our insecurities and put ourselves in charge instead. When you talk about your insecurities, do so from a place of power. Talk about them as if there's something you've overcome or something that you're overcoming. They are not these terrible, scary parts of your personality, and they're not something to be ashamed of. Insecurities are actually helpful. They are a highlighter, inviting your attention with discomfort instead of neon colors. Think of them more as a teacher. Be proud of facing them, the way Olympians are proud of jumping big hurdles. It's a challenge, a chance to show your true power. Insecurities are a useful puzzle. We are meant to figure out what about them is a lesson and what about them is a lie. Figure out where your inner self is asking you to improve and turn your attention away from the negative feelings surrounding that area of improvement. We can even find gratitude for our insecurities in the same way we appreciate having a check engine light. They alert us to issues that we need to address. Insecurities give us insight, giving us hints on where to focus instead of just allowing us to break down without a warning. It can be difficult to see them this way when we're in the midst of their discomfort and limitations. But if you look back on the insecurities you've already outgrown, you should be able to retrace where they helped you grow. Insecurities always highlight an area that needs improvement. But what we need to improve may not actually be the thing that we're insecure about. Sometimes there's a deeper issue that's simply represented by the insecurity. Sometimes what needs improvement is insecurity itself. Our source, inner being, higher self, whatever you want to call it, may be calling us to confront the very feeling of insecurity because it has been a reoccurring barrier for our blessings. By confronting our fear and intolerance for insecurity, we're able to face new challenges head on, appreciating insecurity as merely a reflection rather than a deterrent. By tackling our insecurities now, we become more efficient at tackling them in the future. We become more prone to face things head on. When we try to ignore what we're insecure about instead of addressing it, we establish a pattern of running from our fears and discomfort. This mindset can trickle into other aspects of our lives, not just the areas we're insecure about. Facing your insecurities is a great way to redefine your self-concept as someone who is able to deal with challenges. So what holds us back from actually facing them? And how can we overcome the obstacles to overcoming our obstacles? Sometimes we can feel like we don't even have the time to deal with the things that we're insecure about. Balancing our jobs, relationships, self-care, and other responsibilities can seem like a huge barrier. But luckily, most of the work in dealing with insecurities comes from thought alone. The most time-effective way to deal with insecurities is not to think about them more, but to think about them differently. Start reframing negative thoughts around your perceived shortcomings, even if the reframes sound like lies at first. Chances are you've been repeating your insecure thoughts on autopilot for some time, so it can take some time to override them. Don't let disbelief discourage you. You can also invest an hour every week or two in therapy. This can be a great way to sort through your feelings and get professional feedback. Remember, the goal is to sort through what actually needs improvement and what is just needless negative thinking. A therapist, or even a mindset coach like me, can help you sort through your insecurities and figure out what's what. Maybe you haven't taken action with your insecurities because you don't know how to fix them. Of course we hesitate to take action when we have no direction. One thing you can do to find direction is to meditate. Set the intention to receive clarity, then clear your mind and let the answers flow to you. Another trick that works really well for some people is to set an intention before they sleep. I've heard that intentional naps can be just as effective, if not more effective, than a full 8 hours. So play around and see what works best for you. And remember not to give up if it doesn't work immediately. Here's how to do it. Clear your mind. Take a few deep breaths. Then set a specific intention. For example, I'm feeling very insecure about my love life. I don't know how to address my insecurities. I'm going to sleep, and when I wake up, I will be inspired to try a new action or thought process that will help me navigate my way to a healthy self-concept about my love life. You can modify that so that it feels right for you. And you can use the same script before you meditate. Just declare your intention, believe that the clarity will come, and allow the issue to leave your mind. Another way to find direction is by researching how other people have dealt with similar insecurities. YouTube is a great source for that kind of information. Simply type in how to deal with insecurities about blank, or how I got over my fear of blank, or something like that. Allow your intuition to guide you to the right videos. Listen with an open mind and apply the techniques that resonate with you most. Perhaps you're paralyzed by having too many options for how to deal with the issue. In this case, choose 1 or 2 techniques that stand out the most. If you pick more than one, make sure that they don't contradict each other. And dedicate yourself to applying them for at least 21 days. If after that time you see an improvement, keep up with what's working. Feel free to even add more techniques that complement what you're already doing, if you feel drawn to do so. You may find something even more efficient. If you find that adding more is overwhelming, just dial it back to the basics. If, however, after 21 days you don't see an improvement, simply try a new technique. Think of it as an experiment, not a failure. It's perfectly okay and normal to try a few different things to find what works best for you. It is not a waste of time because every technique you eliminate draws you closer to the ones that will work for you. Just remember to give everything a fair shot. Belief that something will work is a huge factor in whether or not it will work. If what's holding you back is procrastination, you're not alone. This is my most common hurdle, but it's a bad habit you can break just like anything else. Every time you divert your attention away from working on your insecurity, remind yourself that you're actually putting off feeling better. Procrastination doesn't feel good. In fact, it often feels worse than doing the actual thing we're putting off. We tend to build up how terrible something will feel to do, and instead settle for feeling anxious about not doing it. And we definitely underestimate how good we'll feel once it's done. Don't wait till you feel like doing it. Start doing it regardless of how you feel. Once you get into it, you may even find yourself enjoying the work. It can be very fulfilling to focus on self-improvement or even just cross something off our to-do list. Be sure to give yourself praise while you're working on it to keep your motivation up. You can even give yourself a reward once it's finished. And remember, procrastination is a habit that gets easier and easier to break the more you break through it. So keep telling yourself that it will get easier. Starting is often the hardest part. If fear of failure is what's holding you back, remember that you can't really fail. You can only learn. Because of manifestation, we are able to achieve success regardless of where we are, even if we experience setbacks. There is no need to judge yourself or to feel hurt by the judgment of others. Know that you are succeeding at trying, regardless of when or how your trying pays off. Give yourself props for all the small successes along the way. I mean, all of them. Trying something new that fails is a successful attempt at trying. Starting something you've been procrastinating for weeks is a success at starting. Facing your fears, even if it leaves you in tears, is a success at facing your fears. In this way, you can never fail. There are countless checkpoints for success on the way to healing your insecurity. Disbelief in positive outcome can also hold us back from facing our insecurities. Perhaps we believe that we're actually right to feel insecure about our insecurity. But this is a myth. Remember that insecurity is like a check engine light. It is pointing our focus in the right direction. It is showing us an area where we can improve. And as long as we take that opportunity, we're headed in the right direction. The only time that insecurity is negative is when we're unwilling to examine it. When we bend our morals to excuse it, or when we define ourselves negatively by it. Saying, oh, I'm just a negative person. That's why I'm mean to people. I've had a hard life. It's hard for me to make friends because I'm not very easy to get along with, but that's just who I am and I'm not going to change. There's so much room for insight and improvement in all of those statements. You just need to believe that you are capable of changing for the better. Anyone can make magic out of what used to hold them back. Did you know that most people who are rich were born poor? A 2019 study published by WealthX found that around 68% of those with a net worth of $30 million or more made it themselves. Some of the most successful models are not traditionally attractive. Hardened criminals are able to turn themselves around and actually give back to society. People with the most severe depression can become consistently and genuinely happy. People who've never been in love can end up with their soulmates. People who've never been lucky can win the lottery. People absolutely conquer barriers of all kinds on a regular basis. So your insecurities do not need to hold you back. You are a very capable human being, and you can do this. There is nothing to be afraid of. There is no hole that you cannot crawl out of. It's just a matter of staying persistent and advocating for your possibilities instead of arguing for your limitations. I hope you found this video helpful and that you feel confident in applying what resonated for you. If you have any questions, please comment below. And if you feel like you could use some one-on-one guidance, you can contact me for coaching at the links in my description. Now I want you to affirm, I am ready to work with my insecurities in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for new videos almost every day. And always remember, you are the master of your reality.